Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family. Warren Zaire Emery made his French international team debut, becoming the youngest player to do so since like 1800 something, in like 136 years, and scored a debut goal in the 16th minute of the game. But simultaneously, as he shot the ball into the net, he was tackled really badly by the Gibraltar defender. I didn't watch the game. I missed the game. But when I saw that, I got a bit worried. I got a bit, sad for him. But I didn't overreact that much because, first of all, we don't know how long he will be out for. Second of all, Warren is a physical, athletic specimen. And if there's anybody that will come back from an injury quicker than they should have, it's Warren Zaire Emery. I remember the same with Kylian Mbappe when Loic Perrin smashed him. Even worse than this one. And Mbappe returned quicker than anybody expected. And I see the same thing happening here with Warren Zaire Emery. Obviously, the reports and what Deschamps had to say after the game, Warren's ankle has swollen up quite badly. He's going to have some tests, and we hope it's not too serious for him. That's the only bad thing about this half. It was a perfect evening, except for Warren's injury. Thankfully, it's not very serious. It could have been more serious. There's no fracture, but there's a big ankle sprain. Warren Zaire Emery has suffered a serious right ankle sprain, and it looks as though he will not play again in 2023. The player is leaving the French team and returning to Paris. And lastly here, Warren Zaire Emery has damaged a ligament in his ankle alongside the sprain. Length of unavailability not yet known. So it's very weird from L'Equipe to say he's not going to play in 2023, even though it's a bit easy to guess because it's 1 month and 10 days remaining in the calendar of 2023. But I still see Warren Zaire Emery coming back much quicker than anybody expects him to come back. Because when you saw the game, when you saw Warren Zaire Emery straight after that injury, he didn't look that fussed. He was applauding the fans, and when he said it after the game, he was just happy that he got his first goal. He doesn't think that much about the injury. He doesn't see it that much as a weakness, just a postponation of his successful career so far. And no stretcher was needed. He could walk perfectly. He was cheering. He was vibing with his teammates on the bench. So mentally, I know Warren Zaire Emery is good. Because mentally, players can be negatively affected by an injury, but Warren definitely not. And then I searched up a bit, so he has his damage is ligament in his ankle, and I've searched it. So damage to ligament, it depends on what grade it is, severity wise. Is it grade 1, grade 2, grade 3? Obviously 1 to 3 weeks, 3 to 6 weeks, or up to several months. But it looks like Warren Zaire Emery either has a grade 1, which is 1 to 3 weeks, or a grade 2, which is 3 to 6 weeks. And I haven't really seen a report if it's a minimal stretching, no tearing, or partial tear, but I haven't read anything about tear in his ankle. So recovery time for that should be 1 to 3 weeks. Simple, nothing special. And then when it comes to his sprain, his ankle sprain, it says here, most ankle sprains need only a period of protection to heal. The healing process takes about 4 to 6 weeks. So, I mean, the prediction for L'Equipe is not the worst. When you look at other players that have suffered this injury, that's pretty much the same amount it will take for them. So Warren Zaire Emery should be back in the beginning of January, fully fit, fully healthy. No concerns when it comes to him because, as I said, nothing has been ruptured, nothing has been broken. He's good. He's good. It's just the muscle tissue stuff that fixes itself with time. But here comes the real question. Paris Saint-Germain are in a very delicate situation. We're playing against Monaco now. In Ligue 1, tough game against the second best team in Ligue 1 this season. And then we have obviously the 2 remaining Champions League games against Newcastle and Dortmund. And we're losing now one of our best players so far this season, especially form-wise in the past couple of 5-6 games. He's our best midfielder, I would say, this season. He gives us a lot that no really other player, like his duel winning. Obviously, Ugarte is good at that, but he's more of a tackler. And I mean, we only have one Ugarte. That's also an issue. So the depth issue will be very concerning towards the latter end of this calendar year. But this means that all of our hope and expectations are on Fabian Ruiz Peña. I got faith in him. I got hope in him. I've loved how he has been so far this season for Paris Saint-Germain, both mentally and physically with the ball, and even sometimes without the ball. So am I that worried for the Monaco game and the Newcastle game now that Warren is missing? Absolutely no. Absolutely no. When you are the best team in the world, You shouldn't worry about one of your best players being injured for a time. This happens in football. This is part of football. I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised. This happens. And I'm not going to use any kind of victim card and feel sorry for Warren or myself or the club. No, this is part of the game. This is part of football. And I've seen much worse. I mean, I've seen Neymar being injured right ahead of important knockout games in the Champions League. And he was our best and most important player. So it's a totally different story. Will we miss Warren? Absolutely. Absolutely. Who wouldn't miss Warren? This guy would start for any team across Europe's top 5 leagues this season. But as I said, I'm trying to look at the positives from this. We will see Paris Saint-Germain without Warren Zaire Emery. Fabian will get some chances. More pressure on Ugarte. Not the best thing at this situation, especially with his form. But we saw from him in the international break that with DePaul, I like that. I like that, Ugarte. I like that. So hopefully that can be replicated when he comes back to Paris Saint-Germain. But apart from that, as I said, I'm not that fussed. And you guys should not be either. I haven't really read that many tweets when it comes to the Warren Zaire Emery issue. But I would believe that a lot of people are overreacting and feeling, that we're the victim. Oh my God, we're so unlucky. We don't deserve. No, this is part of football. You just accept it. I've accepted it. When I saw it yesterday, I accepted it. It's that simple. Warren, as I said, star boy. And now, as I said, his successful beginning of his career will be a bit postponed. But this is a great test for him, both mentally and physically. Because when he comes back, when Warren comes back, you better be ready. Because the absolute beautiful thing is that him and Nuno Mendes comes back at the same time. Imagine that. So I couldn't be more hyped for January. I'm thinking when he comes back instead of, the time when he's not here. Now he's not here. I'm not going to think about him. As I said, I'm going to think about the Ugartes, the Fabianichos. The only problem here is that I don't trust any other player from them too. Vitinha in that pivot does not work. So Fabian and Ugarte, you both better stay healthy for the rest. If not, Vitinha may tuck into a performance, or Lucho might try something out. Maybe Marquinhos DM. Who knows? But as I said, it's a delicate situation. We should not be overreacting. And the estimation of the injury, he should be back in early January. And it's not a big injury, as I've said. No tear, no broken thing. Nothing is broken. Everything's good. And as I said, Warren still looked happy after that injury, which just shows you how strong mentally he is. That's my boy, Warren Zaire Emery. That's been it from your boy PSGINT. And as usual, allez Paris.